Let us look at a very important topic, that is, what are the factors affecting refractive index or mu of a given medium. This topic is very important in your ICSE board. Definitely one marker is going to come from all these 4-5 top factors that we are going to discuss today. So please pay attention, and then this is very easy. I will make it very simple and then very logical so that you can understand and you will never forget it. So you don't have to mug this up. I will explain you with concepts, so you follow the concepts and then this will become very easy. Definitely one marker is mandatory. Without this your question paper will not be there. What are the factors that will affect mu? There are 5 factors that I am going to tell, and just remember them. First one is the speed of light in a given medium. If the speed of light is less, then the mu will be more. How is it? Go to the definition of mu. The definition of mu, or the refractive index of a medium, is equal to C by V. C is the speed of light. V is the velocity of light in the given medium. So this is always constant. So I can write this as mu is inversely proportional to 1 by V. Correct? I replace with that constant with a proportionality. So that means if my speed of light is more, then my refractive index is less. If my speed of light is less, refractive index is more. So both are inversely related. So if the speed of light is less, then my refractive index is more. That is what it is. So always boil down the information to the speed of light. Whatever the factor that is given, finally come to the speed of light, and then immediately you will get what is the refractive index of that medium. Because refractive index is nothing but the difference in speeds. So speed is the immediately related quantity. So come down to the speed. Let's look at what does that mean. If the optical density, how does it depend on optical density? Come to optical density. If I decrease an optical density, what happens to my speed? It will increase. So if it increases, then what happens to my mu? It will decrease. Both are inversely related. So from density, we went to velocity, and then velocity immediately will go to refractive index. So what is the relationship between density and refractive index? So if my optical density decreases, my mu also decreases. But never go directly. Go like this. First density, and then go to velocity, and then velocity to refractive index. Let's see what happens to the temperature. If I increase the temperature, what happens to my density? My density decreases. If my density decreases, velocity increases. If my velocity increases, then my mu decreases, because both of them are inversely related. You know the fact that whenever we heat substances, they will expand. That means they are rarely packed. That means they are becoming less dense. So temperature, it will become less dense, and then once it becomes optically less denser, then its speed increases. As soon as its speed increases, then its mu decreases. So when we increase the temperature, the mu decreases. That is the relationship. But don't go directly. See what is this temperature affecting, which property it is affecting. It is affecting density. And then density is affecting velocity. Velocity is affecting mu. So go in step by step, then you will easily reach at that stage without mugging up. Please don't mug up. Mugging up will be very confusing. Just to follow this logic that I am telling you. Wavelength of light. If my wavelength of light is more, then my velocity is more. This you need to know. How? We know the formula that velocity of the light, V is equal to C F lambda. That is frequency and wavelength. So velocity of the light is equal to frequency of the light into lambda. So the frequency remains constant. So the velocity is always proportional to wavelength. It is like a small boy and a big man. A small boy is taking little steps and a big man is taking big steps. So who would move faster or who would go faster? The big man would go faster. Same is true with light. So you know that light beam that you see consists of different wavelengths or different colors. So each wavelength travels at its own speed. So if the wavelength is larger, it travels at a faster pace compared to wavelength smaller. So you remember this formula, V is equal to F lambda. So when my wavelength is more, immediately my velocity is more. And then if my velocity is more, my refractive index is less according to this formula. So that is how the wavelength would affect the mu. And then color of the light. How would the color of the light affect the refractive index? Color of the light and wavelength are actually only one factor, but I separated it because in your board exam, most of the times he would ask about the light, he would ask about the color of the light. So if you take the color of light and the visible spectrum, we have Vib jar. So Vib jar, each violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and then red, they have different wavelengths. If you see Vib jar, the violet side will have a smaller wavelength compared to the red, that is a larger wavelength. So the wavelength keeps on increasing as we move from the left to right in the Vib jar. So V has a less wavelength. When the wavelength is less, its speed is less. When the wavelength of red is more, its speed is more. So it travels faster. So if the red travels faster, then its refractive index is less. So compared to the violet. So the violet travels slow. When it travels slow, this number is small and then refractive index is more. So refractive index of violet is more. Red travels faster and then refractive index is less. So mu of the violet is always greater than mu of the red. So any factor which will affect the speed of light will also affect the refractive index, because the refractive index is all about the difference in speeds, or it's all about the speed of light. So all these factors affect the refractive index, and then don't mug this up, just follow this sequence and then you will automatically arrive at this. In the next video we will see the next topic.